So thanks everyone for joining the webinar this morning. My name is John Morrison. I'm Vice President of Enterprise for Huawei, and it's really an introduction to Huawei technologies. The things we'd like to go through on the agenda are an introduction to Huawei with a little more information on our position in the UK market, our current value proposition to enterprise companies, some detail about our portfolio and the range of products we have, a little more information on the networking side in terms of the value proposition and how it sits against the competition, and then finally a look at our enterprise customers in the UK, and then some time for a quick summary and a Q&A. So moving on to a quick introduction on Huawei. There's a couple of things I'd like to pick up on this slide. One, we operate in 170 countries, and we are a truly global organization. Just last year, China actually became our second largest market worldwide, with EMEA overtaking it with 36% of the revenues. We also do a significant amount of research and development outside China, but on the R&D subject, one thing I'd like to highlight is the blue circle in the bottom left. 70,000 of our employees are dedicated to research and development. And that comes in some ways from our carrier heritage, that we look to work closely with our customers to understand their needs and use R&D to develop bespoke solutions where we can, even in an enterprise environment. A second point about Huawei at a whole level is we are here to stay. We are a successful organization. We're already turning over a little over $46 billion worldwide. And partly that's to give you confidence in terms of the longevity of the organization, and that's an important question to ask whenever you look at new vendors. But secondly, that growth also fuels our continuing investment in research and development, which for last year, although the figures aren't published, will be over $6 billion. And we will continue to increase that number as our revenues grow. That's allowed us to become one of the top 50 patent holders in the US and the top 15 in Europe. And for customers, the important thing there is that you are getting access to leading technology. Looking a little more at our presence so far in the UK, we are already a major supplier in the UK carrier market, and have supplied a great deal of the communications infrastructure, working with BT on the 21CN operation, providing their next generation access network throughout the UK. We also supply radio and core network products to Vodafone. We are leading the build of EE's 4G network, and with TalkTalk we supply both network and consumer products in the home with things like UView and the Home Hub Box. We have been present supplying in the UK market since 2005, when we won BT's 21CN network. But just as importantly as our presence in the market is the strength of our brand. And from a customer point of view, brand strength is a pointer as to whether we are providing good solutions that people want. And our brand has been steadily climbing the global brands sector throughout the years. And just in 2014, we broke into the top 100 best global brands, and we're the first Chinese mainland company to do that. The other thing I'd point to is probably in the bottom right. The Boston Consulting Group highlighted us as one of the most innovative companies in 2014, and we were the highest networking product provider on that list, only beaten out by companies like Google and Apple. So it's a great success and a great pointer to the amount of effort we put into R&D, and the fact that innovation is one of the key benefits we want to bring to our customer base. So looking at our businesses, the majority of our business is still the carrier side of the business, where we provide fixed and wireless networks to 45 of the top 50 operators worldwide. On the other side, our consumer business is both devices like smartphones, which are available in the UK, but also home devices, mobile broadband devices. And that is really strengthening our brand on a broader base. And then in the middle, what we're going to discuss in more detail today is our enterprise business. Additionally, though, whilst we are a tremendously strong global company, we have a significant presence in Europe and the UK. In Europe, we already have just shy of 8,000 employees. 850 employees are dedicated to R&D, and we have a number of R&D sites operating throughout Europe and in the UK. And moving on to the UK specifically, we have just under 1,000 employees already in the UK, with 70% of them locally recruited, and we're investing in the UK to create jobs in ancillary industries as well. If I look a little more detail about our investment and commitment to the UK, our founder and CEO visited David Cameron in 2012, and we committed a £1.3 billion investment in terms of growth of jobs and R&D and a number of centres of excellence, as well as R&D collaboration with a number of UK universities. And again, the point I'm trying to get across in terms of that information is our commitment to our presence in the UK and the fact that we're already a major vendor in the UK. So you can deal with Huawei with confidence in terms of our long-term commitment, both as a global organization and to the marketplace. So if we now move on to a little more detail about the value proposition to our enterprise companies. I'd like to start with how we see the marketplace, and this very much drives the propositions and technologies we want to bring to our customers. And if I started in the top right, I think the key driver in changes in ICT is around connectivity. And although it says mobility there, it really is the ubiquitous access to high-speed broadband. Now, when you take that and align it to the comments in the bottom right, social media and video, the continuous access combined with the increase in the sophistication and capability of handsets, tablets, phablets, and the comfort with which people now engage both at a lifestyle level and a business level in the mobile environment is really driving the growth of a work anywhere, super connected society. People now have an expectation that they can get the information they need, whether they're students, businesses, or it's just a personal lifestyle point of view. They can get access to the information they need on fairly sophisticated applications on handsets, and that's driving a massive growth in cloud computing, because that information has to be accessible and it has to be efficient in terms of where you store the information and how you compute the information. And then if you add to that the Internet of Things, which is being enabled by ubiquitous wireless connectivity, that's what's resulting in an enormous amount of data. And big data for me is data that you can study, investigate, and mine value from. It's not really the size of it, although the size of it is a big part, obviously. But it's the ability to look at these data sets and provide value, either as a business in terms of understanding more about your customers or how to provide them with more targeted offers, or indeed on a personal level to provide you with information about how to get from one side of the city to the other. Also e-government and e-education. So this, from our perspective, is what's driving growth in ICT in the marketplace, and what makes it important for end users and customers to consider within their enterprise environment. what level of connectivity and applications they need to support. However, Huawei provides what I think is a fantastic portfolio and a very wide portfolio, but we are more of an enabler. We provide the connectivity, we provide the ability to store data, but we still need to work with a wide range of companies who provide systems integration capability and who provide the software that demands the characteristics of the network to make it work. And a good example of that would be SAP, whom we're working with and have developed a server architecture called SAP HANA, which is directly related to what they want to offer their customers in terms of being able to compute large data sets and make decisions quicker. Additionally to that, however, we do need partners. And our go-to-market model is 100% indirect. It's a full channel model via distribution and resellers, value-added partners, carrier resale, and global partners. And the point of that is our expertise is around the development of the technology. And also, the technology that we provide is only ever going to be a part of the story. It needs to be integrated with other technologies very often, but certainly with other software. And for that, we need partners who have that skill and capability, but also have great relationships built over a longer term with the end user to install, integrate, and support. And an example would be Phoenix, who are an enterprise gold partner for us, and also a 4-star enterprise service partner. And they are able to take our solutions, combine them with software, and deliver either a direct solution into the enterprise or a managed service. And that really is how you split what we do and what other people do. Our focus is building the best technology. Our partners are there to integrate and deliver great solutions. So if we look at the product family, and I'll spend a very short amount of time on this chart, but it really is to make the point that Huawei is involved in building that connectivity with our carrier customers. We also supply the handsets that connect to those networks. And it's not that we're saying you should have a Huawei handset on a Huawei network linked to a Huawei cloud, although it would be great if you did. But the real point we make there is it gives us a fantastic insight into what's coming. We know the capabilities that networks are able to provide with 4G and in the future 5G and super fast 1.5 gig and eventually 10 gig Wi-Fi. We know what handsets can do, and that's what drives our development of solutions in the network and the cloud. And it's that unique insight that sets us apart from the competition. So our solution portfolio is around connectivity at the bottom layer, then data center infrastructure with servers and storage, and then finally unified comms and communications, both with video conferencing, telepresence, and clients. So we go into it in slightly more detail, and I'm not going to go through every box on this chart, so don't panic, but we have a full range of access and optical connectivity along the bottom, transmission and microwave, and then in switching, both data center switching as well as core aggregation and access, and then finally from the very largest core routers right the way down to home base access routing. And we'll talk about networking a little more in the next few minutes. On the IT portfolio, we have a full range of servers from card-based SSD right the way up through rack-based servers to a full converged E9000 infrastructure. And by converged, I mean it has a networking backplane and a storage of the servers, and it can deliver that fully converged infrastructure. On storage, we have entry-level storage right the way up to exabyte capable storage, and we have Huawei storage in it, the Large Hadron Collider in CERN, which is dealing with data loads of 25 petabytes every month. And then, importantly, what sets us apart from a lot of our competition is we have the full range of physical infrastructure with containerized data center cooling, power, as well as the software at the top end with Fusion Sphere to deliver a fully capable virtualized data center in a box. So we have complete VDI capability as well. So looking in slightly more detail on the networking side, what's our value proposition there? I'd like to start with why Huawei IP. And our research and development recognized that we were coming into a mature market. So desperately important to us was a standardized and open architecture. We recognized that if you buy a networking product from us, unless it's a completely greenfield site, it is likely to be working with one of our competitors' products, either in the layer below or the layer above. And we have many case studies where we are working with Cisco, HP, and a number of other companies in terms of presence in a customer's network. So we are completely interoperable and open, and that gives you choice and flexibility. Performance and future capability, we have a big focus within R&D on recognizing that the knowledge we have around what carrier networks are capable of and what handsets are capable of drive the development of our products, and I'll talk about that in a second. And we have a huge focus on green. The expansion in China is absolutely enormous. Our home city of Shenzhen was some 2,000 people in the mid-80s. It's now a city of 14 million. And when you grow that quickly, the pressure is always on resources, and most importantly, energy. And so everything we do has a massive green focus, and we've got some test reports to show how our power usage and the software that allows the management of power gives us the best green credentials in the marketplace. We have a leading performance campus network, and just to give you a quick example of one case study, building the full campus and data center network for Newcastle University. And we recently switched up their first 100 gigabit core. And whilst that seems huge, it just references the importance some of our customers see in not only future-proofing, but also providing an example to their constituents, their customers, the students, that they have a leading IT capability at their university for the use of the students from a Wi-Fi point of view or from a connectivity point of view, as well as research and development. And that's seen as tremendously important. And then comparatively, we have just launched the 12700, which is an SDN-ready, software-defined networking-ready agile switch with a switching capacity that is almost 50% bigger than the next closest at 37 terabits. And port density, that's 96 100 gigabit ports in a single chassis, or 192 40 gigabit ports in a single chassis. And those numbers were unimaginable only a couple of years ago. But again, if you remember the conversation about the ICT trends with mobility, big data, social media, connectivity, those speeds will start to be filled up as time moves on. And that's why we want to provide solutions that give you the longest life cycle for the products. And finally, access routers with the ARG3, which can provide security, voice, routing, switching, virtual private networks, and wireless LAN with access controllers, all built into a single box, provided very cost effectively to give you the ability to spin up sites very quickly indeed. Finally, our management software, and one of the other values that we believe we provide is we don't acquire. All of our technology has been designed and built within Huawei across wireless LAN, networking, storage, and servers, and that's allowed us to have a single management platform that can work across all those environments, massively increasing the efficiency and the effectiveness of being able to manage a complete network and server storage solution. So very quickly, I just want to go through some of our enterprise customers in the UK. We are, as I've said, developing a strong ecosystem with partners mapping onto solutions, mapping onto key areas around power distribution, transportation, and ISPs. And if I go into slightly more detail now, that we have a number of customers across a number of key verticals, but it becomes obvious that two of our strongest verticals are certainly the ISP area and the education area. We have big campus networks in Newcastle, Aberdeen, Northumberland College, storage and server solutions at Imperial College, networking at UCL, and the pop-out box there is showing a full range of schools that are taking our wireless and connectivity products as well. And just as importantly for our partners and customers is getting that brand awareness out there, and we're investing a lot in that. Again, with a focus on education. In the UK, we were at BET in January. We'll be attending USIDA later on this month, and we'll be looking to spend time at the, we are investing in the CIO Forum with The Economist, and just coming up as well as the massive IT conference out at CeBIT in Germany. So hopefully that gave you a quick overview of where we are from a corporate point of view, giving you more information around who Huawei are, what it is we can offer, the range of things we can offer, and our partner community as well, with key partners like Phoenix, who are supporting us tremendously in the UK market. Alan, do you have a question? Yes.
Is there a specific market that you're going to be aiming at? Is there a specific market that Huawei are less known in at the moment that you're looking to spread the name?
I think the easiest answer to that question is we are still quite new to the market. We are under-distributed, and we have a product set that, annoyingly, in some ways, everyone needs a switch or a router or a server or storage, so it would allow us to attack every market. Right now, we are more focused on education and ISP because when you're entering new markets, referenceability is very important, and we've got good referenceability in that space. But we're very keen to start to spread that into other marketplaces. And I would say that the referenceability we've got in somewhere like Newcastle, whilst you could view that as a university, you can also view it as a good reference for the product. So, we have some great core switching, edge, wireless LAN, and data center switching there. We are keen to grow in transport and manufacturing as we move out of education, local government, and ISPs.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. If there are no further questions, I think it was scheduled for about a half-an-hour webinar. We have recorded it, so if there's any interest in looking at the slides or listening to it in more detail, as Lucy said, please contact your Phoenix account manager. And I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who attended.